Okay, so today we're doing a grinder nut. And I think I'm going to do like a little bit of a tutorial style video, but not really because I'm sure, um, actually I don't know who watches my videos, probably nobody, but um, I guess I'll just make a little basic tutorial. And this is just more like how I operate the lathe, not probably the right way because this is just the way that I've come to know to run it. So around here we have 4-jaw chucks, so everything we have has to be indicated in, which I like because it's very repeatable. 3-jaw chucks, not very repeatable, so that's pretty darn good. I'd say that's pretty much actually perfect. I've gotten pretty quick at it. People make it sound like it's that big of a deal, but I can have that indicated in like no more than a minute, and it's worth it just to get good quality pieces. So what I'm going to do is, I believe this is 1 3/8. I don't remember, but I'm almost certain of it anyways. So yeah, it's 1 3/8. So then what I'll do is I'm going to turn this down to my 1 1/4 that you can see here, because that's the big diameter. And then I'll face this off, and then I will use gauge blocks, and I'll show this later, but I'll use gauge blocks and set this 525, and I'll set my stopper, and then I'll just turn into my stop. Simple as that. So I'll come back in 1 second. Okay, so I just took my first cleaning pass, and this is a great time to get your dial set to a nice number like 0 or 10 or 20, so that when you do your math, you can easily add, you don't want it on some, like, say 7 or whatever. It's tough to do your addition like that, and then keep track of everything. So you can see we're at, so we'll call that 334. So then I take my sheet and I do 334. Whoops. It's kind of tricky to do when you're looking through the camera. So I got to go to 250. So now you just come to your calculator. 334 minus 250. So I got to go 84 thousandths on the diameter. Now you got to make sure to divide that by 2, otherwise you'll have it all screwed up. So here we go. So we got 42 thousandths that we need to go. So here's where, now, like I said before, I'm on 0, so I know I can't take it past 42 on my dial. Of course, this not that big of a deal in this application, but it's just kind of how it works. So I'll cut this down to the diameter, and then I'll update from there, and I'll show my gauge block spacing process after I face it. So here we go. Okay, so I just got those first couple cuts done, and as you can see, we're at, it's tough, but it's right in there. Okay, so my finish isn't beautiful, but it's at least smooth, and actually I think it's going to land right in here. This must be I'm not going to say hard, but it's not as easily machinable as I wanted it to be. So anyways, so now I got my, I got it faced, and I have not moved my carriage. So what I do is I have a bunch of gauge blocks here that are all pretty common, like my 125, and there's my 500, and I know that I need 525, so I think there's actually a 400 in here. Yeah, right there. See, so we got a 400 and a 125, and then essentially I put them in here between this and this, and then I slide this over, I put my gauge blocks in there, and then I tighten this down, and then I make sure everything's snugged up. That's a little tricky to do holding onto my phone, but I'll I'll get there once I get it tightened down. I'll show it again here. Okay, so here we go. I did get it close, and then I snug it down with this here dial, so I know I'm close. You know, they're friction fit in there. So there. Now my trolley stops. So that's exactly where we'll stop. 525 thousandths from the back face. Exactly what the print says. So pretty simple. So now we need to go down to 872 on the diameter. We know we're at an inch and a quarter, but so we know it's going to take a while anyway. So then I'll take a few cuts. Maybe I'll go down one dial and then come back to 0 and then remeasure. And then we'll have the numbers for that one. So let's get to it. Now this is kind of dangerous here, but I watch my gap close up when it closes. When it closes up, I turn my power feed off by loosening this clutch, and then I bump it in by hand. I'll show you here. So you watch it, Oh, watch the gap close, right there. So now I take it by hand, then I finish it up to the stop. Then I reel it out, take my cut, re-engage my power feed, and then go for it again. So there you go, simple as that. Okay, so I just got this polished up. It's not bad, but oh well. I'm no perfectionist, I should say. Now it's kind of looking like we're gonna have to. We'll put just a little chamfer on that, and that. Whoops, hold on. And that's easy. All you gotta do is just like this, and we come over, and then we chamfer that because we don't need this stop anymore. So I guess I can do it on camera. Pretty simple. We'll go a little more. There. Now there's a little chamfer on there. And I'll get the... Whoops. I'll get the drill here in the tailstock. I'll get everything all set up for drilling this hole. Here's my chuck. Chucked up. Now I'll get a center hole drilled, and then I will. Okay, so we come to the tap drill chart. We find us. Oh, there's 5/8. We have a 3/8 24, so we need a letter Q drill bit. Easy enough. So now I run back. We should put this more near the lathe. I gotta walk quite a distance for it, but so now I go find my letter Q, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so my drill indexes are all over the place because I've been trying to clean up, and I have a lot of miscellaneous drills. So around our place we have two very nice drill sets here. They're here right now. So look, we got literally, it's like brand new, like they've never been used. That is like last worst case scenario, can't find a drill, we go into there. So then we have this one. This is like really nice work. You know, there's only a few missing, whatever. So those are like our last resorts. But then we have some other old ones. Oh yeah, and there's a few missing, you know, over the years they got lost or broke. Here's another set, and there's another project here. Here's another set here, and another index here. Like I said, they're usually all in our drill index drawer. So I don't know if this is how anybody else runs, but so I always look in the crappiest kit first. So then I look, yeah, I got a Q in here. So now I don't need to go into the next nicer kit. and then the next nicer kit. So I don't know, it's kind of funny, but you know, just over the years, drill bits get broken, busted, and whatever. So, and they get lost, of course, because some clown doesn't put them away. It's kind of looking like I should be able to just straight drill this one, but it would probably be good practice to use a smaller drill first to pilot the hole. So that's what I'll do, and then I'll drill that out and go from there. Okay, so I got that hole piloted with a smaller drill. It was a letter A. I don't know if there's any scientific way to know which size pilot to use. I always just kind of grab something, you know, like kind of one of the crappier drill bits, or one size of a drill bit that you know that you don't use very often. And that's what I typically do. So I've got my letter Q chucked up, and I'm going to drill with that. And I got my coolant here that doesn't want to mix. So I'm just going to keep feeding this coolant as it cuts. Pretty simple, not like there's any science to that. So I'll get back after I'm done with this. Once this is tapped, then I'm going to take my compound and I'm going to cut these here. And I'm going to cut it with my compound. I'll just set, you know, there's a degree. You might be able to see it. Way down. Oh, this wants to focus. Right there. So I'll set my degree. You know, this, again, not that critical, but I'll set it to approximately 8 degrees. And then I'll just feed it all in my compound. And then I'll probably have to do the one side, part it, and then bring it back, and then do the other side. Okay, so here's my tap setup. I just throw the live center in the end of the lathe, and then I've got my 3/824 in there. And then as I'm screwing the tap in, I feed in the tail thread cut and go from there. And something else I always keep in mind, since obviously the chips get pushed down, you have to turn, and then about, I don't know, in this case, I'll go in a little ways and then I'll take it back out and blow it out, of course, for those who don't know, and then so that we don't bust that freaking tap off. So there we go. I'll get to it. Okay, so I got my threads cut. I don't know if it's probably gonna focus. You're gonna have to trust me for it. So now I'll get my compound turned so that I'm going at the 8 degrees or whatever, and then I'll align my tool post with the compound like this. See, we're aligned, and then I'll turn this so that it's pointing 8 degrees like this, and then I'll just go. Okay, so on my particular model lathe, this is an old South Bend. As you can see, I suppose it was on some kind of a Navy ship, but it doesn't really matter. It was definitely from the government owned. So she's a stout old stallion. This has been a trusty lathe. There's a 2 set screws right here, and then there's one on the other side there that's already tight. So I got my compound. As you can see, it's close enough. Not really that critical here. So now what I'll do is I'll just run it in there and clean up that, angle it. We'll part it and then go from there. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is a little bit of an angle on there. So I got my compound set back already. I've got my parting tool on. So now the way I've always done it is I usually use some red dye. I'll dye it and then score it. But okay, so essentially what I did is I just took a known straight edge, I put it on here, and then I bumped my trolley over onto it, and then just before it touches, or just when it touches, again, not that big of a deal. So now I will reel this out. I'll find some gauge blocks again, set my 630, part it, take my nice new part out, put it back in the chuck, put the other side of that on, deburr, and then I'll have a done part, and that'll be a little lathe tutorial. Okay, so here is my part. See, my threads got all the way through. Absolutely gross finish there, but like I said, we're going to clean this up on the other side, and then we'll have us a sweet new nut. Now I got to chuck it back up in there and then cut my taper in, and then I'll be a happy camper. So yeah, there we go. Now I'll deburr it, and then I'll show you guys the final project. So here we go. I measured the thickness of this flange right up at the top, and it comes out literally perfect. I mean, I think the sheet said it was 48. It came out to like 45. So I thought I got a little thin, but yeah, there's the deburred edge there. Deburred edge there, polished good.